That was weird. Are you seeing a flicker with my camera on your end, or is that just Discord? What Discord is showing me? Okay, good. And as long as you're not seeing it, I don't care.
In between, my mic was muted, so I'll say it again. What is going on there, gamers and gamettes and everybody in between? It's your boy QYZ, and you already know what time it is. Like, you don't need me to tell you these things every time, but for the sake of the argument, I understand we might have some new viewership, so I will. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Kaiserin, one half of the greatest hosting duo on the planet Earth, bringing you the Clout.WAV podcast. And look, I'm always the backup dancer. I'm the backup singer here. This is the captain of this brain trust, Subtle Fraudulence, looking down at his phone, trying to get his material ready. So grace us. Bless the pipes.
That's right. That's right. You thought I wasn't paying attention, but I'm always aware. Eyes open, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. So I'm doing all right. You know, Good Friday is upon us, and it turns out that I've become an old man on Good Friday this year. So that is,
you did it. One more lap around the sun. You did it. So how do you feel?
Hey, man. I feel all right, man. I feel like there are a few more left.
Just a few? Because I mean, look, man. I know some people who are just now hitting their 30s and their knees are shot, bro. They can't even do squats no more. And I'm like, what? How did we get here?
The pandemic's strong, man. People stayed in too long, and they're just like, I can't even move anymore,
bro. Like, it's rough out there. It's tough out there. But speaking of things being rough and tough out there, sometimes, you know, you go to escape all of your tough struggles in life by picking up a video game. And sometimes even video games get to be a little bit too much of a tough space. So you got to hack. You got to cheat. And I already knew that people bought hacks, cheats, and various other things to cheat in online competitive games. Like, that's not anything that's new. But I didn't realize how much of an industry was behind that. Like, I didn't know that you could be out here making hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars buying Bugattis, Lamborghinis, Range Rovers, whatever automotive luxury you may see fit to own, or house you may see on the market that you may want to buy, just based off selling just hacks for Valorant, Overwatch, Call of Duty, and various other competitive esports games out there. And I don't know if you guys know this, but yes, Tencent. Yes, your good old boys at Tencent have decided that they were actually not going to do something terrible. And with a, yes, correlated effort with the Chinese government. Yeah, big shock there. Gaming giant Tencent has led to the closure of what the police are saying is the biggest ever video game cheat operation. The gang and designed and sold cheats to popular video games, including Overwatch and Call of Duty Mobile. Yes, Call of Duty fucking mobile, because apparently people want to cheat at mobile. And roughly $76 million in revenue was made by the organization, which charged a subscription fee to clients. Police sees assets worth $46 million, including several luxury cars. Now, China and Tencent revenues surged thanks to the gaming boom, obviously, over the past couple of years, especially since we're all stuck at home during COVID. But you gotta start asking yourself this question. Because you see, you may be saying, all right, well, how expensive is it to get into the game? Well, there are some hack sites out there where you can spend $65 and they'll allow you to have the hack tools on a license for 24 hours. However, with this group in particular, you could have subscription price plans that begin at $10 a day up to $200 a month. $200 a month to be good, in air quotes, at a video game.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think about how many subscription services you could potentially have for $200 a month, or how many bills that $200 could go to, or what you would rather be putting that $200 a month towards. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but if you do the math, that's like what, $2,400 a year? Like, that's insane. Just to be get some digital numbers. Like, nobody's gonna get out here and touch the shaftola, the biddies aren't gonna come out, the titties aren't gonna unravel themselves from in between the bra. Like, none of these rewards are gonna come into your lap by cheating and hacking in a video game. I just don't understand. Like, is it an ego boost thing? Is it like a Napoleon complex? Like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, why do people feel the need to hack, and not only hack, but literally spend hundreds of dollars a month just to be able to cheat at a game that they're trash at? Like, I don't know. Maybe can you make it make sense?
Well, some people just want to win in their life. They just want one win. They don't want, they don't want any sort of notoriety from everyone in the world or anything like that. They just want to win one time, or maybe 10 times, who knows, right? But they just want to come in and be like, you know what, I am superior in this video game. It doesn't matter if it's fake. It doesn't matter if, it comes from some sort of cheat engine that gives them God mode or anything like that. They're like, no, I'm having a fun time because I am the victor here. That's right. I get to see you cry second place. You were close, but you weren't close enough to me. I am the winner here. That's what's going through their heads.
Like, I just can't fathom that somebody would be so little. No, this isn't even little dick energy. This is micro peen energy.
All right, man.
Gameplay.
There are levels to this, though.
Oh, I know there's levels.
There are definitely levels, because you also have your crowd of like, this game isn't fun, I'm not winning, or this game isn't fun, they won't let me get up in the corner, this game isn't fun, every time I walk outside I get shot, I don't understand, I should be able to take more bullets instead of just one, every time they shoot me in the head I die.
What? Fall Guys wants me to jump? No way, I'm going to fly forever.
Wow, this game is terrible. I was just walking and then I got hit by something. I fell off and I died. How could they make me do this? I just want to win.
Now I seek vengeance on not only the competition, but the developers themselves.
Could you imagine cheats in Among Us? Like, man, this game is terrible. They keep thinking I'm sus and then they vote me off. Like,
I'm going to make it to where nobody can be voted off. That's right. Imposter always wins. Like, I'm sure there's someone out there probably cooking that up in their mad lab of hacks, but like, I don't know. Like, I just don't see why it's such a big thing to the point to where people want to spend that much money. I can't tell people what to do with their money, but it just seems real. As you said just now, sus to me, bud. Sus to me. Just like Steven Crowder getting banned off his YouTube channel, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I don't think that the people who are paying for cheats are people who are expecting to be like pros or anything like that. They're at home, and since ranked mode is available for them, they're just playing in ranked, and they're like, man, I'm tired of getting shot all the time in this Call of Duty game. What if I just had, like the best weapon ever? It's kind of like hack weapons in Borderlands or something. It's like, well, I don't think I'm hurting anybody because I'm on my couch. That sort of dumb mentality. But, Steven Crowder, right? Speaking of dumb mentality.
All right, talk to us. Tell us about young Crowder.
All
Getting
right. So
banned.
so the fans of the series will know that we already spoke about how the Steven Crowder, the conservative comedian who I don't
Comedian
know,
in the biggest air quotes you've ever seen.
comedian. Yeah, so he made some racist remarks on his show recently, and I'm guessing because of that, a few people took a look at a lot of his more recent videos and noticed that he has videos that are completely breaking TOS for COVID regulations, where it's like, you shouldn't be sitting here talking about COVID unless you're approved. You shouldn't be talking about any sort of pandemic conspiracy things. You shouldn't tell people, not to go out and wear a mask or anything that's gonna possibly put other people in danger. He had a whole live stream special for the election where he's like, yeah, the stolen election, which you literally are not allowed to say that the election was stolen or that Trump won or anything like along those lines ever again. You're not allowed to actually seriously come on and say those things anymore. And so he got flagged for not doing for doing those things on his channel. And he put out a video on a separate channel where he said, yeah, guys, YouTube has banned me indefinitely. So watch this YouTube video on my other channel where I sit here and tell you that YouTube banned me. I got an email. They said that I broke TOS, but here's why I didn't break TOS, even though they tell me that I broke the TOS. Nah, this is actually the big tech corporations trying to censor me. And it's just like, look, they figured out that he's not funny. That's really what's going on here. They figured out that he's not funny, and they were like, whoa, this guy says he's a comedian? No. He miscategorized his channel. Sorry, we got to ban you. Sorry, big tech is in play now.
Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing about bans on YouTube. Like, bans on YouTube, like, somehow YouTube is worse at banning people than Twitch is. Because at least on Twitch, when people get banned and then someone finds out that you made a new account, it's curtains. Right. Off the top rope. Don't get me wrong. Twitch has a myriad of problems with their ban system. And I mean a whole cavalcade and smorgasbord of them. But YouTube, you could get banned and be like, well, follow me on my backup channel. Don't worry about it. We're going to go keep this thing running without a hitch. And by God, they let them do it.
Which is weird because some people don't get that luxury, like J Station. J Station got banned, who I guess he's like old school YouTuber who's been on YouTube forever or whatever. He made like pranks and he made like the very terrible.
Is that the dude who made like the creepypasta 3 a.m. unboxing videos? And then the dude, so he was the weirdo that was like, like a couple of weeks after Etika died, he was like the Etika unboxing video, and he was like trying to like talk to Etika's ghost. Yeah, that dude, dude's a weirdo. But people will do anything for clout these days. I mean, look, Clout.WAV podcast. You've heard it here first, folks. Like, clout is the new crack. And, well, for the sake of the argument, as the years go on, it's definitely going to evolve into the old crack. And unfortunately, clout's not illegal yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they're working on it, but it's not illegal yet.
So, J Station, in his quest for clout, I think he had several other things. Like, I think at some point he said that his girlfriend died when she was very much alive. And he's like, no, guys, it was a prank, bro. What are you talking about? That kind of shit. And so he has several, like, I think he had one or two other YouTube channels. And when he got banned by YouTube, they were pretty much like, yeah, you're gone. And they banned all of his other YouTube accounts, and he's not allowed to make another YouTube account because that will get insta banned. I don't know. I guess they have some sort of IP ban on him, or they're just like have a bot that's constantly like J Station J, anything along those lines. It's like, if you see this dude, he's out. Tossed.
Man, they got an AI that can identify his voice and an AI that can see his face. Like, the algorithm is going to snipe that man right from orbit, orbital strike and whatnot. But here's the thing.
That is Skynet. So
J Station has made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, and he just kind of rums it up with, guys, I'll never do that again. And it's like, not even 2 weeks later, here you go. Here comes Speed Racer. He's a demon on YouTube. It's not good. And there's only so many times you could do it before even YouTube goes, all right, buddy, the door. Even every now and then, Google gets a spine and will hem somebody up by the shirt and say, no, you're out of here. They throw you out the club. Twitch is very weird about it. They're very selective about it, but every now and then they do it. But somehow Twitch seems to be better with their ban system. Sorry, I almost dry heaved in my mouth.
Hey, man.
I wonder why I did that. But it seems like Twitch... almost happened again. Seems like Twitch is actually better than YouTube at certain things. That's it sucks to say that, but I mean it's true. Like when it comes to how bans and discipline is doled out, somehow Twitch does it better than YouTube. That's not to say that Twitch is good, it's just that YouTube is shit. Twitch is also shit. I just want to make sure that's 100% clear that they're both shit. I just wanted to make sure that we're 100% on the same page there.
Yeah, and because there's an argument that there are monopolies in play. No, man, there's not. You could start your own platform where you put videos on. You could go to Vimeo, you could go to Daily Motion, or you could go to other places to make your content. But good luck getting other people to follow you there, because YouTube has been known for ages. Twitch has been known for ages, since it's been like the gaming section of Justin TV. Yeah, that unfortunately is the case. And even though both YouTube and Twitch are evolving, shout outs to hot tub streams,
right? For some reason, like that's a thing now. Like I don't really get it myself, but I mean apparently that's just the thing, and it's here to stay. And some of y'all might be saying, well, what do we mean by hot tub streams? It's literally streams where a bunch of people decided that, hey, we look good half naked and we're going to hop in the hot tub and we're just going to be in the hot tub. And every now and then we might spin around, show some cake. Every now and then we might jiggle the titties and show off the jiggle physics. And, hey, there's new lanes and avenues that have been pushed through this wacky world of Twitch where... And
oddly enough, if there is any hint of like a nip slip or a dick slip or anything, man, banned. Like, no, we saw that, banned. No more hot tub for you. Sorry.
Well, here's the thing. Like, it's usually a soft ban, because I mean, we had some people out here spreading the whole goo-wop and only getting a 3-day. So I mean, the word ban on Twitch does not carry the same packing power on most websites, because a ban could be like a 24-hour ban, which is really more of a suspension, but they like to use the word ban, and suspension seems to be a faux pas and a no-go and just a not good wording over there on Twitch. I don't know. I mean, Twitch does things really weird at times, and apparently they don't do suspensions. It's only bans. So I gotta be honest, though, when it comes to this whole hot tub thing or hot tub gate or whatever you want to call it, personally, I don't have a problem with it. Earn your money. Because at the end of the day, you can't be blaming these people for showing off their bodies and making a whole bunch of money. Those aren't the people you're supposed to blame. You got to blame either the platform itself or all the people who are donating to those people that much amount of money to the where there's no reason for them to ever stream anywhere else. Like, there are some people who probably make more on Twitch just shaking the biddies than they ever did on their own OnlyFans, etc., so on and so forth. Like, their websites that are specifically designed to show off the lewd content probably make this much, while the Twitch game is making this much. And let's be honest, that's just hustling forward. That's all it is. That's hustling smart. Sure. That's working smarter, not harder. That's all it is. I mean, let's face it, being in the safety of your own home doing your lewd stuff, as opposed to being on the streets where there's COVID and all types of nefarious and backwater drinking characters out there and shady folk, much safer to do it in the comfort of your own home, and you get to be clothed and at least pretending to play a video game at times, or at least talking about something that people seem to care about for some amount of time, and bada boom, bada bing, you're making your monetary thing, making those monetary gains. Because I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, but it's not gaming and you got to reward gamers. And look, we got to keep it a buck here. You guys say it's got to be about gaming. There's so many dudes, there's so many women in just chatting who aren't showing the cleavage. They're not out here twirling and helicoptering the dick around, showing the six pack. They're not doing all that. There's some people.
Some of them are sleeping.
Yeah, some of them are asleep. That's not gaming. You want to know what else is not gaming? Hey, what's going on, guys? We're IRL streaming, and I got this giant backpack on, and we're going to go to the supermarket. That's not gaming either. In any way, shape, or form. You got people who are just doing arts and crafts. Technically not gaming. So it's like, where's the line here?
I mean, you literally have a channel that's dedicated to taking Facebook and Twitch IRL footage from different like protests, like live stream footage from people who are at protests, and just puts it in one like, amalgamation of like different streams of like, hey, watch all these at the same time if you'd like.
Yeah, and it's just like,
what's going on.
There's some people who are doing cooking streams, not gaming. Like, the horizons of Twitch have broadened to such a point to where content is just content. It's just like a content provision network at this point. Gaming sure may be the core of it, but it's no longer just the end all be all and the only thing that you have to do, and you're just locked into that on the platform. And a lot of people want it to be that way, but when you look at some of the content that those people who want it to be that way are actually into, it's not all gaming all the time.
Definitely not.
So let's stop the cap on it being just a gaming only type thing. Let's stop the cap there. Number two, a lot of people make this stupid excuse of the lewd women and the cosplayers are taking all the viewers away from me. And look, anybody who's coming to Twitch to add to their Spank Bank collection of files and WebMs and things of that nature had no interest in your personal bests, your PBs, your high scores, your 100% runs, your grind to platinum to master. They don't care about any of that. They weren't going to watch your channel anyway. They were not in your target audience and demographic off top. That they were not all. They came to this website for a very specific and particular set of goods, and you never had them. What? You're good at a video game? They didn't care. This audience came to see the itty bitty titty committee, or the queens of the ada ada, or they're looking for, man, that guy's got a ripped chest, big meaty muscles, big meaty men slapping meat. That's what they came here for. All right. What game you're playing? Irrelevant. How good you are at said game? Even more irrelevant. Your status that you've earned from winning titles and prestige from aforementioned games? Even more irrelevant than the last irrelevant thing to this demographic of people. So like I said, if you want to talk shop and you want to get mad at somebody, get mad at those folks who are supporting it, or get mad at the platform for having the most inconsistent set of rules in you get a ban and you don't get a ban history. Because they'll be like, oh, you can't dress a certain way. Then people are 100% in violation of that. If the stream makes money, Twitch is blind. They do not see it. It never happened as far as they're concerned. So yeah, Twitch, as I said, not really in the best setting right now. Not really in the best place right now. And I just feel like YouTube and like Twitch have this unwritten rule of trying to dive into the ocean and explode. Like they just keep plummeting. Somehow they've already passed Atlantis. Like Aquaman, your boy Momoa has already waved them by, like, right on, brother, and it's already over.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's and they just keep deteriorating at the seams. But you just got to work on your content. Don't worry about what all these other folks are doing, because trust me, it's not worth the fight. It's not worth the struggle. And because I mean, let's face it, 95% of you out there are looking for loopholes at your job to get more money. So people find loopholes on Twitch. Oops. Sorry, cat's out of the bag. What's your loophole? Right. You better find one.
I can stream myself working at my job. People will watch it. That's right. I'm making money while making money now.
That's the end level intellect right there. That's the variable. What's that? I'm working my 9 to 5, but it's on camera. I mean, let's face it. You see some people doing that on TikTok. You see that, like, especially on Vine back in the day, like any shorthand media, like there'll be people just at work and they'll just be filming themselves doing some stupid dance and it goes viral. And it's like, Like, could you imagine, like, you had employees, like, you know, you out here managing folks, and then you see a viral video, and it's one of your employees on the clock, and it's just like, dead ass? So you just not working out here?
Hey guys, come watch me while I'm doing my work at this Amazon Amazon factory here. Oh, actually, it's time for my break. I've got to take a piss, so don't mind me. I'm just going into this corner here. Don't look at me real quick.
Hey man, document it. Somebody would pay max amount for it just
That's
to get
the
one
only
over on
reason why
Amazon.
Amazon hasn't gotten like sued yet, because no one has filmed themselves doing these things, because Amazon currently has an issue with some of their workers taking shits in corners and stuff, or taking
Yeah.
shits in trucks, or
And having to pee in bottles because if they go to the bathroom, they're apparently doing it on company time, and Big Brother Amazon wouldn't like that very much, and it could cost you your job. And look, it's just inhumane. A lot of the accusations that are being thrown around right now, and a lot of people coming out with their own testimonials that these are things that have happened to them and that they've been accosted, yada yada yada. And like we said a few weeks ago on the podcast, it's always strange when a company has to run ads that are anti-union that use the verbiage anti-union. Like, it's very weird to see a person who looks scared out of their mind with the creepiest uncanny valley smile looking at the camera going, and that's why at Amazon, we don't need a union. Vote no to the union. Amazon, da-da, and then back to your regularly scheduled Twitch stream. It's very strange to me. It's very odd. But you want to hear something else that's quite odd?
So
E3? Well, E3. Like, here's the thing about E3. Like, I feel like we're at a point now where every single like major gaming studio and conference can have their own individual and independently ran showcase show. And E3, I just feel like it's like a dog and pony show of, well, we've been doing it for years, so we're going to keep doing it. And don't get me wrong, when it's something that big and everybody's coming together, it does make for a spectacle, but it's also one of those things where like people in the industry get to use it as a ultimate time to network with other people they may not get a chance to network with, especially if they're working on different companies and different projects they're in. But when it's a digital event, I feel like it loses a lot of that luster.
Oh yeah,
but I also feel like E3 just doesn't want to cancel, like kind of like Vince McMahon doesn't want to cancel WrestleMania, even like it's like, what the fuck is the point of having a wrestling show if people aren't there? But you know, the show must go on, I guess. But personally, the big rumor was this year's E3 was going to be a digital experience, but because it's a digital experience and they want to make money, they were going to charge people to get involved online. So to even watch the stream, you would have to pay money. Now, since then, a couple hours ago, they have fully admitted that no, it's going to be free to everyone. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same old, we're going to do our stuff, how we're going to do our stuff, but it'll be free to watch. So they put that rumor to bed very early because they know gaming companies and gamers do not have goodwill amongst each other right now. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of friction there. And the last few award shows have been duds. So when you get all these gamers and they're feeling a lot of tension and, you know, they want to see something that's going to excite them and entice them, because let's be honest, a lot of the stuff that we're going to see at E3 is going to be on boxes that people can't get their hands on right now due to there being a shortage of both Xbox Series X, Xbox Series X's and PlayStation 5s. Yep. And dude, where's my graphics card? Because you're not getting one anytime soon. You're not. It's just not happening. We're gonna
maybe next year.
Look, you say maybe next year, but you got to remember, there's a whole set of PCs now that are being built without graphics cards in them.
Excuse me?
Yeah, so Fierce PC is a boutique builder in the UK, and they're selling graphics-less gaming computers. That's right, let me say it again. Gaming computer pre-builds that do not come with graphics cards. Let me say that one more time for the people in the back who may be confused about the words that I said and in the order in which I said them. They are making gaming pre-built PCs that do not come with a graphics card at all.
What are they gonna do with that though?
So, as you know, miners have been buying up all of the GPUs that they can get their hands on, sometimes in big bulk purchases that are technically supposed to be not allowed, but they're definitely allowed if you have the coin for it. But that being said, they're building these PCs because in the current climate, getting access to graphics cards is quite difficult. And they seem to want to touch base with either a market that already has graphics cards and just needs PCs built around a graphics card, or and this is what I'm thinking, they can't really get a good deal with graphics cards providers. So they're just going to try to build PCs without graphics cards and then sell those because they can't get their hands on graphics cards either.
You know, at some point in time,
Mm-hmm.
a conversation needs to be had with the manufacturers of these of like graphics cards, consoles, and whatnot, and like because obviously there's some sort of strategy at play here to give people FOMO so that they feel that they have to buy the next console or the new graphics card like as soon as possible, as soon as it's available. Otherwise, they may never get it in their entire life because it's just so scarce. And this, I don't want to say this started with the Switch, but this like recently was most popular with the Switch, where it came out and it was like, shit, we don't got any more, guys. Sorry, we'll make some more at some point, or we'll put out some more at some point. Then there were like more like specialty Switches and stuff like that that came out. And the Switch, of course, went up in price because it was so rare to find. And, you know, it seemed like we were getting to a point where, you know, that was stabilizing. And then the pandemic hit and everyone is at home and they're like, yeah, I want to Switch too also because, you know, I would like to play Super Smash Brothers, or I'd like to play that Animal Crossing game that's coming out, or maybe I'd like to play some Stardew Valley and some Apex Legends. But
Oh,
instead,
God, don't you get me started on Switch Apex Legends. Have you seen that game?
Oh,
Bro, it is it's not even 720p.
Let me tell you right now.
It's not even 720p and it's locked at 30 frames, bro.
So Akira, the company that made Fighting Layer, basically, so the story of Fighting EX Layer is that it was a joke. It was an April Fool's joke, and it's like, look, guys, we're coming out with a new game. And people were like, wait, no, please, I like that. Like, can you just make it, please? And they're like, all right, we like you guys. So even though we're poor, we will go ahead and make this game for you. And they did. And unfortunately, not like it wasn't as popular as it should have been. But you know, they still got dedicated buyers, etc. Whatever, right? They put out an April Fool's joke today that was like, now we're making a Switch version of the game, so we're gonna make sure that the graphics are not as good so that it works on the Switch. And it's literally like lower quality like models of all the characters that they show off, and it's like it shows the characters intro and then it shows them like beating their opponent, and then they do their like win pose just on the same screen with the life bars up and everything. And it's like, this is the Switch version of the game. Like that's a great joke because the Switch is awful.
Have y'all seen how MK11 runs on the Switch? That is the most pitifully pathetic. Anytime there's a glow effect, the game slows down to a crawl. So if you're playing Nightwolf,
right, and
you use your reflect or you do shoulder charge, let me tell you something, that game's about to turn into a Microsoft slideshow. It's going to be a PowerPoint presentation before you know it. And it's just so weird that like games, they get released like this. They look at things like this and go, yo, I believe that'll work. They'll buy it anyway. It's so stupid. But this is the climate we live in now. This is what game companies will do.
Yeah, because Nintendo doesn't care about putting out the most high spec, console. They just care about
managing their exclusives because they have a lot of them, and they have a lot
and
of
then
things that will anchor you to their console.
also putting out something that's going to appeal to people who don't really care too much about video games or too much about specs for their video games. They're just like, well, it's going to play Smash Bros. And it's also going to play Wii Fit. So, I want it right
Take
now.
my
It's also
money.
going to play. I can also play Breath of the Wild on it. So, what's the problem here? And I can play it on the train? No way. That sort of thing. So with the pandemic, you ended up having like people spending like $500 plus on a Switch. And I mean, that worked for Nintendo because at the end of the day, they got their sales and people were paying like twice as much as they should have for this console that isn't even all that great, besides being able to like take it places. Like, it's great for a handheld console, but only that. It's not great for a home console.
But here's the thing. Like, I've heard a lot of people talking about this rumored Switch Pro, and like they've been talking about that Switch Pro thing since like 2018. So like you got to start asking the question now. Will it ever happen? Because it seems like Nintendo wants to ride the Switch thing for a long time, because we haven't heard any announcement of a new console. And there's games that have restarted development, like Metroid Prime 4, that are still supposed to come out for the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So we could have the Switch all the way up to 2023, 2024.
The Switch is Nintendo's console. It's the Nintendo console for this new generation. That blows my mind that people are like, yeah, you've got the PS5, you got the Xbox again, X, and then you've got the Switch for Nintendo. And it's like, the Switch doesn't compare to the two previous consoles for those other two companies. So like,
much less the next generation, but here we are. Like, they were already behind before. Now it's just downright pitiful, if you want me to keep it a buck. Like, it's just like, come on, like what are you doing? Like, I feel like multi-platform games, like, you have to, it is amazing how crippled Apex Legends, like, we'll just use Apex Legends for example. It's just how crippled and detooled it is on the Switch as opposed to any of the other platforms that it's on. Oh, and by the way, the Switch has crossplay with the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One X, and Xbox Series X.
Oof.
So enjoy your 30 frames per second and everybody looking like a Mr. Game & Watch reshade, because, ladies and gentlemen, you're getting lasered first.
Yeah. Honestly, that is exactly the experience that's going to happen. And they're allowed to get away with that because people are still going to buy the Switch, because the games that people are like gravitating towards are games like Animal Crossing, where the Switch is going to do perfectly fine with those games because they don't require any of these like crazy graphical, increases and whatnot. But yeah, like, the first party games, and then I don't know, a few third party games that are fairly known, and then indie games, which indie games usually don't require like you to have like the best processor, the best graphics card, anything like that. But
to be honest, the only thing they require is like, all right, does your computer work at all? Can it boot? All right. Can it render a YouTube video? All right, great job. You could play our game. That's usually what indie developers are trying to strive for. Just to have the simple accessibility of, you can play our game on a literal fucking toaster.
Right.
You could play our game on a singular wireless phone. I don't know how many of y'all remember singular wireless. That may be before a lot of y'all's time, but woof. That's a throwback and a half right there.
Who bought Singular? Was it T-Mobile?
Okay, so Singular, I believe, was bought by Bell South, which then turned into AT&T.
AT&T, okay, yeah. I
believe that's the order of events there.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
But,
oh my god.
But since we're talking about buying people off and buying things, like, don't you hate it when someone just like gets robbed and they try to act like there's no credit that's going to be thrown towards their way, and then you find out that they're doing it to back a multi-million-dollar entity?
I hate that all the time, man.
Because I don't know how many of y'all know this, but Magic the Gathering has a plagiarism scandal going on right now, because Jason Felix is an artist who was contracted for Magic the Gathering. And apparently, when he was coming up with new card designs, he thought the best place to go was on Twitter and various other sites like Tumblr and steal fan art and just plagiarize it and then put it on a card. He got paid to do this. And amongst this whole scandal, some of the artists are like, yeah, so am I going to get monetarily compensated? Like, because y'all definitely robbed me. Y'all definitely took something off my plate, used it, and decided that, I don't matter. Because I know if I did this to you guys, you would be suing me for any amount that you could put on the check. So it gets into this weird like discussion of, oh my God, should we credit artists? And it's just like, yes, of course. Yes, of course. Don't be like Elon Musk on the Twitter feed, bro.
Oh my God, that man, he just says what he wants because he's got all the money plus more. Like there's just he's in a different tier of the universe right now. So it's just you can't even put him in the conversation. But as far as this goes, I mean, this is one of those things that's not even specific to the art community. This is something that happens in, like, with music, video games. Oh my God, Overwatch. Oh, Overwatch versus Paladin. Come on, it's blatant. Literally, they were just like, "Oh, that Paladins game, that looks pretty amazing. Wouldn't it be great if we did something similar to that, or something like great like that? And we have more money than them, so like we could make it look better, and actually we could release it earlier than these guys and make it look like it's our video game, and then they look ridiculous. Oh my gosh! And now." Then you have Paladins getting released, like 3-4 months after Overwatch, and people were just like, "This is a ripoff of Overwatch." And it's like, you guys don't even understand that the industry has played you. They told you that this is a ripoff because they were like, "No, we are bigger and better, so we can do it." This, this guy was like, "I have the money on my side. This is just some artist who is living from commission to commission, and I have a big corporation backing me up." A corporation that okay, anyways, yeah, I have a big corporation backing me up, and so I can get away with just stealing a few things here and there and putting it in our video game. Actually, they should praise me because now I'm making their stuff famous, and now because of the scandal, people will actually look at their artwork. That's probably the conversation that's happening right now. Jason Stevens is like in a room and he's like, "They should worship me. I'm the one that put them on the map. I am Magic the Gathering."
So I just want to correct you. I do believe that Overwatch was unveiled first because they had a trailer in 2014.
Yeah, but Paladins existed first.
No, it did not.
So
no, it did not. That's cap.
The story is
okay
that Blizzard got to see Paladins before the public, and they were like, that's pretty nice. We should make something like that. And then they unveiled Overwatch before Paladins was able to get unveiled to the public. Because, I don't know, Paladins had some sort of issue, like setbacks or something. And because of that, Paladins was dead on arrival. Because there's so many similarities between Paladins and Overwatch.
Yeah, that's a story that I have not heard. I have not heard that one. All I know is that I think it was like like August 2015 is when Paladins got announced, which is about a good 8 or 9 months after their initial Overwatch statement was out. And then Overwatch came out, I want to say like maybe 5 months, 3 months before Paladins did. Like when we actually doled them out in 2016. So now I have not heard that story. Correct me if I'm wrong.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong.
Unless you're thinking about Battleborn.
No, Battleborn, they got shat on, man. They got super shat on. Like, Blizzard was like, the dudes that made Borderlands, let's release our beta on the day that they release their nonsense, all right? Because this is ridiculous, all right? This is ridiculous. Those guys are not going to beat us. Our game is better, and we have more money. We have more money. And so Overwatch came out, and that was a wrap. It was like, hey, guys, you want to play Battleborn? Battle what? Battleborn doesn't have Tracer. Get out of here.
But you were saying about Paladins?
Paladins apparently, apparently they had to hold back their initial announcement, but I think it had something to do with like Overwatch's existence and them being like, "Hey, that's our shit." All right, because what is it? Paladins got released later than Overwatch because of some sort of setbacks. I'd have to research the specific reasons why again, but Paladins got held back, and then by the time Paladins did come out, Overwatch was already out and like thriving. So that game had a rough launch, and to combat that, Paladins either became free to play or they just they were just like, fuck it, it's gonna be free to play, and then you guys can pay for whatever and also play the game for free. And that's why Paladins got as popular as it is now, because it's like, oh man, this game is kind of cool, or it's like, oh, I don't have enough money for Overwatch. So
Hold up. I got something for you.
All right.
So, believe it or not, Paladins never copied Overwatch. The game was called Global Agenda, which came out in 2010, and also has characters exactly like Farah, Reinhardt, and more. The creators of Global Agenda are the creators of Paladins.
Right.
So, all right, there you go. I have never heard of this Global Agenda game.
I forgot that it was under like a different name, but yeah, it was. I mean, it was right there, and so Blizzard was like, "Why don't we just do that? We could make it look better than that."
That you got it. I did not know. I have never heard of this game. I have never seen this game. I have not seen any footage of this game. But hey, here we are.
I mean, I've heard that Blizzard may have done that with other games, but I have no confirmation on those. But I mean, I'm also not surprised on similarities like this in the industry. I mean, League of Legends and Dota.
And the various other clones of those games that now
seem
to exist.
Yeah, that's right. Han, Dota, League of Legends. I mean, it just ended up becoming its own genre because they were all just like, yeah, we're just gonna copy each other. So
it just became a point where it's like, it is what it is.
Like platform fighters are a thing now because of all the people who wanted to copy Super Smash Bros. Because Smash Bros came out and that was a hit, and then they're like, well, why don't I make my own type of Smash Bros? All right, Brawlhalla, Rivals of Aether, what is it, Slap City? God, there are so many that just came and died that I don't remember the names of, but right. Yeah, you get my point. Like, that's now a genre because of all the people who wanted to copy the same thing.
And Brawlhalla be having $1 million circuits. Like, there's actually money in Brawlhalla. I'm telling you, bro. That's the wave. But to reel us back in on topic, like, imagine you out here creating some fire art, you know what I'm saying? You doing commissions, and then one day, you know what I'm saying, you see a Yu-Gi-Oh promotion card of a new Egyptian god card, and it's your art.
Right.
And no one gave you a check, no one contacted you, no one even asked for permission. You just looking on the timeline and seeing, hey, bro, that drawing that you drew last week for free? You work for Konami now? Like, just imagine that. Like, imagine that going down. And
Obelisk the Tormentor. Wait, no, this is they just took away my Jobalist the Dementor. What is this?
Just move some letters around, bro. Like, don't do this. But hey, that's what Magic the Gathering has to deal with now. And apparently, the person who Jason Felix, the guy who did the stealing, said, look, man, the pandemic was rough and, times were getting pretty hard. And it's like, that's not an excuse, brother. You stole. Robbery.
Exactly.
And apparently, Jason Felix tried to build some goodwill with the community by saying that they put their name into the talks for future card artwork design, the person that they stole from. So, hey, maybe the person they stole from is going to get a job out of it. Doubt it, but it could happen. It's on the table.
Yeah, it could happen.
But since we're talking about things on the table, have you heard about good old Mexican meth? And how it's better than American meth?
Oh,
I'm gonna
boys.
let you take point on this one. Just
The
fill them in.
boys in Montana are doing it again. All right. So, a GOP senator named Steve Daines in Montana was like, he was having some sort of press conference, right? And he was getting in his bag, and he was out here like, this is the Mexican cartels are ruining our state. They're ruining everything. They're ruining our country. Back in the good old days, we had homegrown meth. All the good meth was grown here in America. Now all the good meth is from the Mexican cartels. The Mexican cartels are giving us all the meth. And I thought he was going to immediately catch himself and be like, oh shit. I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry, guys. Let me paraphrase. Nah, that man was like, homegrown meth in the US was the good shit. We were the ones that were doing meth the right way, and now the Mexicans are doing it, and everything is from the cartel. We're gonna take back America from the Mexican cartel. And it's just like,
And everybody who was just sitting there at the table was like,
they were nodding with him.
yeah, but
they were like, yeah,
yeah, but everyone, like all the sane people were just like, sir, the issue we were talking about were children in cages. I just want to know how we got to meth and the cartels. I just feel like you started conflating some issues because it had Mexican people involved, and you just decided that you was just gonna go off right now. Like, can we get back on the topic here?
No, I'm getting to that. You see, the Mexican cartel took away our meth, and so we were forced to take all of their children and put them in cages.
When they free our meth, we free their kids. What?
So that's a dude running for office right now. Yo, like, I love it, man. This is the most honest I've seen a politician in my entire life right here.
Bedlam. What's going on, Fifth?
He's like, yeah, that's right. We're on meth out here, but you know what? We had the good meth. That's why our people in Montana were out here on.
You got to get them boys out of Montana, bro.
That is insane. Like the Midwest states are like a different country sometimes when it comes to shit like this. Like this dude said it so casually, and like a lot of people were just kind of like, yeah, he's spitting facts. That's right. I missed that.
It's like, nah, bro, I can't do that, bro. I can't. Imagine you sitting in the conference, you wearing your suit, you got your pen and paper, you ready to take notes on this interview at this press conference, and this man says that? Come on, bro.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there are parts of Georgia where I know that there are going to be people like, yeah, he's spitting right there. That's right. Bring back the meth. Don't give me this trash meth I've been getting from the Mexicans. Like,
hashtag bring back meth, bro. Make America meth again, bro.
You can say whatever you want these days, but these dudes, like, so it's funny that we're now in the era where these dudes who used to get away with saying stuff like that, because of the fact that it was like, this is a very like closed event, this is a very closed community event in a small town, so people already know that dude. They already know he says stuff like that. They already know that he might, pop off like that, and they're like, oh, that's just grandpa, whatever, right? Nobody's gonna film it. If somebody tried to tell other people, like in a like conversation that like, hey, yesterday grandpa was like, the meth used to be American and the American meth was better than the Mexican meth. Like, what is this? All of that stuff. What, like, if you try to tell someone that in a conversation, they'd be like, yo, you crazy, man. He didn't say that. There's on, man.
There's no way,
bro. There's no way. But now people have their phones, people have video cameras, all these things to just be like, yeah, he said it. In fact, let me play the clip right now. There it is. He's saying it. Those are his words. Undoctored footage right here. Completely unedited.
But that's when you got those people who are like in like whatever politician's cult back pocket they got going, exactly. Nah, what they really meant was, and they try to play some 9D like chess in order to like flip the words to mean something else. Like, like, I don't know
the QAnon crew is coming out. The conservative crew, they're all coming out. The neo-Nazi crew, they'll come out.
I will never let QAnon stands ever live this down. They thought that John F. Kennedy was never assassinated and was in some secret bunker, and him and Donald Trump were going to have a meeting at a press conference that was going to show that we weren't going to concede the election and we were going to fight this thing until the end. How? Where do these people come from?
They told me that Joe Biden was not in the White House. He was on a movie set, and that Donald Trump was going to emerge on a certain day and be like, that's right, I have been in the White House this whole time. I am your true president, and I am here to lead us back into the Holy Land. And it was like, no, none of that happened. Trump is at home. He's sitting on his ass. Yo, he got his Twitter back, but he's sitting on his ass. He's like, yeah, this is crazy. He had some weird interview where they asked him some questions about some shit, and he's just like, yeah, it's just like that election. It was all rigged. And it's like, whoa, sir, please, you can't say that. We'll get sued.
Like, there's just some people who just, it gets to a point where I'm convinced that people just say things because they have mouths, not because they have thoughts. Because we are living in an era, especially on the internet, where people just seem like they can just say whatever they want, and it puts you into a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Because there was a thread. It's an FGC related thread. Some of y'all may have seen it over the past week, but there is a thread where somebody corrects someone. And it just happens to be a man trying to correct a woman who was saying something that was incorrect. And it immediately became mansplaining. Then there was a whole argument about mansplaining. Yes, 2021, not so much different from 2020 and 2019, you see. So he was like, all right, whatever. I'm going to just leave it alone. Yada, 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 right? Then it became, because she's a woman, you don't want to talk to her? Oh, I see. So her opinion doesn't matter. And it was like, what? So if he continues the conversation, he's mansplaining. If he stops the conversating, he hates women and doesn't want them to have an opinion. I just want to know the mental gymnastics we got to do to get to this point.
All right, friend, just DM me. Let's continue this conversation in our DMs because these people out here, they're wilding. So, I don't want anybody out here saying like I'm mansplaining, because I'm just, telling you like, hey, you had a typo right there. Sorry about that.
It's not even like type. Like, look, if somebody says 3 + 3 is 17, I'm gonna be like, hey, fam, it's not that, and you should definitely look into reasons that it's not that. But it feels like at this point, like, you are just better off just correcting people who you're mutuals with and men. If you are a man and you see a woman say 3 + 3 is 17, you better just like the tweet and retweet it and move the fuck on with your fucking life, bro. That is the play. That is the only play you have. You see a dude say 3 + 3 = 17, bro, you can use every meme, gif, joke, roast, clip that you got on hand. 15-yard penalty, 100-yard penalty, flagrant foul. Get yourself a tech too. Do whatever you gotta do. Red card, don't matter. You allowed to go in mass as a group.
That's like a one of those like Twitter only kind of interactions at this point, because like, I mean, people aren't really interacting like that on Tumblr anymore.
It is a real Twitter specific interaction.
Speaking of Twitter specific things, have you heard that they're taking a Twitter thread that people have all seen and heard of over the years, and they're turning it into a movie? Twitter is now becoming a movie.
I didn't even hear about the Twitter thread until I saw the trailer. So enlighten me. Talk to it.
Me personally, I didn't know too much about the thread before the movie got announced or the trailer came out either. But apparently this is a Twitter thread of a woman who, I think she lived in LA, California or something like that, and went to Florida to visit a friend or visit someone for a job, which I think the job was specifically to like be a dancer, exotic dancer, with a friend. And then that turned into a crazy wild journey involving drug dealers, involving stealing some money, involving some escorting, involving possibly some murder, like all kinds of like crazy wild things, all explained in this Twitter thread. It's kind of like the Dread God, and like how he, he posts like threads of all these like crazy stories that happened to him, of like, his wild things of like, hey, yeah, I was, it's this girl, like she had, the wildest booty, and she invited me over, and I was clapping it up and whatnot, and then some dude popped in, and he's like, hey, I heard you got some dude in here. I know you ain't doing that on our wedding day. And so I'm butt ass naked, and I had to jump out a window, that kind of thing. Getting turned into a movie, which, yes, this is Twitter. So like, they're you have to like confirm some things to be like, is this real, or is this just like somebody trying to like get some attention or whatever? But the story was interesting enough for it to have gone viral.
So what do you think is going to be more embellished, the movie or the Twitter thread? Because I feel like the Twitter thread was already an embellishment, and I feel like they're just going to put 100 on. Well, see, I guess they already put 100 on 10 with the thread. They're going to put 1,000 on 100. Next level.
So the movie is getting like changed. So so the movie is getting changed, I think, because of the the fucking the murder that's involved with it, and like maybe some other crimes that may have been involved. So like they're trying to steer clear of the actual ending of the thread and like make a more glamorized ending, so that they could make sure that it's still a movie, it's still interesting, and it's also not like promoting certain things, I guess. But they've already come out and basically said, hey, the movie is going to be like different from the Twitter thread, but it's for like artistic purposes, and we're going to make sure that like the people in the thread are actually like respected. We're going to get the right actors, etc. Because apparently
you certainly don't want to incriminate them, do you?
Apparently, I think Seth Rogen or someone famous was going to take this and turn it into a movie, and they were going to switch the characters, because the main person who made the thread is a black woman, and her friend who is involved in all of this is a white woman, and they were gonna like switch the stories to make the white woman the main person and the black woman the best friend side character. Yeah, whatever. And so the director was like, I'm specifically doing this to make sure nothing like that happens. I'm going to honor the original thread as much as possible, but I'm also going to like change it around so that we can have respect to this, because the woman who posted all the tweets and whatnot, she also is involved in the project. So I think at Sundance, because this movie premiered at Sundance, it got released there. If you went to Sundance, I think last year, then you got to see the movie. So at the event, she had the woman who posted the original thread come out with the team who made the movie, and they talked about how they're trying to make it as accurate as possible, but also make sure that it's still a movie. So she did change some things around, but she also wanted to respect the original material and the original story from this woman, and make sure that she's not like disrespected in any sort of way with the adaptation.
And that's certainly not a lot of that going around these days, where you actually want to have respect for the original work.
Right.
Some people are like, nah, so what we're gonna do is we just gonna take your plot and we just gonna change everything.
Oh no. Akira the movie.
Like apparently the person who's behind the manga, the creation of the manga of The Promised Neverland, is sick into their stomach about how the anime has been treating it. And it's like, look, we already know how Shonen Jump, like the people who control how much content you're going to be writing in their shonen cuts, and we know that they're terrible, but we also know that there's a lot of anime studios who are like, no, you're going to write this and that's great, but when we get it, we're changing all of this, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Otherwise you could just not get paid.
Right.
And sometimes working with anime companies or Shonen Jump themselves is just, it's a death sentence on your mental health. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's like, nah, you work for us, slave. I mean, you saw what happened to Bleach. That man wanted to end it at Aizen, bro. He wanted to end at Aizen, and then Shonen was like, bro, if you don't
Bro, let me tell you right now.
You better write more chapters.
This is not going to spoil the anime adaptation that's coming this year, but if you read the manga and you got to the end where these characters are fighting each other with literal just concepts of something, like
I will
literally one
erase
dude
your
is
name.
like, I'll erase your name, so this doesn't work anymore. I'm going into the past so that technique that you're using just doesn't exist anymore. I'm just literally going to throw antithesis. Whatever you throw at me, the opposite is going to happen just automatically. These things happen, and the bad guy, Yavach, obviously he was like someone else told me he's like he just represents the author. He's like it's just Ichigo versus the author of the series. Kubo himself is trying to fight Ichigo, and it was like, how do you end this? And he's like, you just end it. It's like, and then we won, and that was it. It was just like,
It was just GG's at that point, right?
GG's. He just like ended the series and was like, they obviously came in the room and just like, all right, this is taking too long. You got to get out of here, bro. Like you're not getting any more volumes. You need to just end it tomorrow. And he was just like, all right. And then that was it.
That was it.
Series is over. So anime adaptation of that coming soon. Promised Neverland ranked what, the #1 anime now to deviate from the manga now? Oof. Terrible title to get.
It's rough.
Right.
But like, I don't know if you heard about this, but Activision is actually shutting down Warzone's largest stat tracking site called SBMM Warzone. And essentially what it did was, it was basically, you get to type in your name, whether it be your Steam ID or whatever platform you're playing on, and it would tell you what SBMM tier you're in. And then it would tell you all of your stats, like your KD, how much damage you do, which gun you're the best, well, you know, all that type of stuff, the analytics. Right. And Activision was very upset that they did this. And this isn't something that's abnormal. Like, there are plenty of sites that allow you to track, you know, how good you're doing in a game. I mean, you got like Overbuff and Master Overwatch for Overwatch and stuff like that. And Apex has, I want to say 2 or 3 of them as well. Like, almost every competitive game has them, but none of them really have any way of detecting how your SBMM works. And I think that's the main reason why they're getting shut down, is because Activision knows the SBMM is a real thing, and they don't want the people to get a hold on how the algorithm works. Because trust me, when people find ways to crack algorithms, shit gets scary very fast for the company who wrote the algorithm. Just look at YouTube. When people found a way to exploit the algorithm, boy, you saw they did everything in their power to clean that up real quick.
Sure did. And then they started charging you for it. So here you go.
They were like, "Oh, you want our algorithm to actually do the thing it's supposed to do? Nah, you got to do an advertisement campaign. So give us your credit card number on file, and then we'll run an ad campaign for you. Yeah, and it's gonna be, you know, pretty expensive for you to get a sizable campaign of any notable, or I should say worthwhile dividends. But hey, you know, it be what it be sometimes, especially when it be."
Exactly. So I don't know. Like, I don't know why Activision is targeting this specific site. Like, it doesn't seem like it's harming them if people are just going there for stats on things that are already there.
But when they can calculate your SBMM, that means that they're getting close to unlocking what the code is to your SBMM, and that's the last thing Activision wants.
I mean,
now it's still stupid because it's SBMM. Like, regardless of it, like, if I know how it works, then okay. Like, we know how ELO works, and that does not stop the ELO system from being used in ranked matches. So I mean, like, let's stop the cap here, you know?
Yeah, there's it's not going to like do too much. People are just going to be like, yeah, all right. Well, I mean, people are already aware about SBMM for the most part, so it's not really going to change anything other than like, oh, maybe some dude found the source code and he's going to apply it to his account. It's like, all right, come on now. Like, you know, that dude is just going to get banned on site if he did something like that. So Activision shutting down the website, like, okay, maybe that'll derail it, but it will also motivate these people to come at them harder and then actually figure out the code behind SBMM and then just make their own sites. It's just like, oh, do you want to get you know, in matches with like low ranked people only? Here you go, bro. Come to my site.
Here's the thing though. People have already figured that out. It's called deboosting or deranking. Like basically in Apex, what you would I know this Apex is different, but what you do is you just as soon as you just drop off the cliff. Just jump off the cliff and just keep taking yourself out. After about 5 or 6 games, you'll be back in bot lobbies.
Yeah, but like people would figure out a way to do that without you having to like tank your games or tank your stats like that. You know what I'm saying? It'd just be like, even though you've won like the last like 20 games that you've been in, you're still going to get into like a bot lobby or a lobby with like level 1s or like 12-year-olds or whatever.
Because this is all I had to do. Like some games take your accuracy into account, and you can manipulate that by like getting a kill and then just spraying a whole clip into the sky. Because the game will be like, oh, your accuracy was 12%, even though you were intentionally just holding down mouse button 1 when there was no fighting going on.
Right.
So, I mean, there's ways to manipulate things in various games. But you may not be able to manipulate toxicity anymore because Intel and Spirit AI are coming together, making a service called Bleep, which is an AI that is going to bleep out in real time all toxicity. So what does that mean? If somebody would come and say, "You fucking son of a bitch, I hope you fucking die," you would hear, "You beep, 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 you son of a beep, 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 I hope you beep." And because what they're saying is it's going to register all types of toxicity. And I don't know if this is going to talk about like raises in pitch. Like if I'm like, "Man, I hope you know that you were one of the best players I've ever seen." Like, is it like because I'm yelling in a certain tone, is it going to beep it out? Like, I understand that this is going to be an AI program, and if AI is getting this sophisticated where it's going to be able to do things in real time, you got to understand Twitch. You should be able to help us out with these song copyrights.
Look, man, every single podcast since we talked about this, we get closer and closer to getting to my standpoint of Amazon owns them, and you're telling me that they don't have any way of figuring out how to deal with this word.
Exactly. Like, y'all don't have any way to finesse these results here. Like, come on now. If AIs can start telling when we start cursing, like in an online format, then you should at the very least be able to get something going to where content creators aren't looking over their shoulder in a fucking night sweat about whether that 4-second jingle in Grand Theft Auto 5 is going to get their content just completely nuked from orbit.
Right. Look, one man created rollback netcode for Super Smash Brothers Melee, a video game that came out in 2003? And you're trying to tell me that Amazon and their team of devs, their team of people, their team of resources don't have the ability to figure out some sort of way to get around this DMCA stuff.
Yeah, because the reason why I would say that they have to is like, remember, there was a game that was supposed to come out underneath the Amazon flagship called Crucible. And that game went the way of the dodo before we even got an official release. We didn't even get to 1.0. We had a closed beta and an open beta. And they're like, well, I don't think this game is going to do well. And then they just scrapped it off top. So, I mean, clearly they have money. If they got money to waste on whole video game AAA projects that will never see the light of day because they threw the key away and locked it in the dungeon.
All right, let me tell you something real quick about your boy YouTube.
Oh, boy, here we go.
So YouTube now has a tool in beta where if they copyright claim or DMCA claim your video for some sort of like copyrighted music, they're like, hey, we got a tool here that can just find the song and just mute it in all aspects of the video. Like, we are going to find the song, we're just going to mute it for you.
And here's the thing that's crazy.
Take it out for you.
Here's the thing that's crazy about that. Twitch used to have a thing where you could where we just mute parts of the broadcast. So, I mean, they already showed and demonstrated they have the technology to detect these things. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to YouTube, it's like, all right, they're able to do that, and you're able to replace the audio, even though that's probably not a really good thing, because 9 times out of 10, if you replace the audio, it's also going to get rid of your vocals. But if it's coming down to a point to where we could strip out words,
yeah, that's the thing, though. See, this tool is just going to mute the song. So if you have other audio that's going on of like you speaking or whatever,
it
all
also
of
gets
that
muted.
stays. Nah, it doesn't get muted with this new tool.
No, that's what it should do. But will it do that? Because remember, if it's going to be able to detect, because the way the AI is set up is supposed to get rid of toxicity, and it'll be really stupid if we're playing like, you know, a game like Apex Legends and someone starts saying, you know, toxic stuff, and then my game goes mute and I can't even hear the game now. That'll be a huge backfire.
So the YouTube tool, like this beta tool, well, this tool that's in beta is going to find just the song and mute only that. All other audio gets untouched. So,
big oof.
Yeah. So if they have something that can successfully do that, then there's a way around all this DMCA stuff. There's a way around all this copyright shit that's going on. So
you just gotta not be lazy and spend the money and get the right people in place. That's it.
Right, but the spending money part is the part that they don't want to do, because heaven forbid they get rid of money. And it's like you're
Amazon, bro.
Yeah.
It's just like when your boy Matt Gaetz threw Tucker Carlson under the bus earlier. My man said, "You have money,
the day of reckoning has come, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him." So Matt Gaetz, right? Matt Gaetz, the man, somewhat famously known for getting into an argument with a black man who said, "I hope that your children don't have to experience the racial profiling that my children and other, you know, black people's children have experienced this year alone." And then he said, "Excuse you, I have an interracial child. So, you know, and how dare you hope that my child doesn't experience such things?" Which, upon further investigation, he may or may not have just adopted like some like 18-year-old who was like one of his staffers. Anyways, so right now, confirmed things. Matt Gaetz is under investigation by the FBI because God, what is the name of this other senator? But yeah, because another Florida senator that he's friends with is getting investigated by the Justice Department because he's done a lot of bad things, but he also has like sexual allegations against him, right? Matt Gaetz is being investigated because he allegedly had sex with a 17-year-old girl and also flew her out from a different state. So he flew her across state lines.
He just threw her across straight lines. Just in the middle of broad daylight. Just, they really out here, bro. They built different.
Look, man, money does something to some people, I guess. But God, Greenberg, something, is it Justin Greenberg? I think Joel Greenberg. Yeah, okay. Joel Greenberg was the one that's being like investigated, and then they're like, "Oh, this Matt Gaetz guy, it seems like he's also involved, so we're gonna go ahead and investigate him too." Matt Gaetz went on Tucker Carlson's show because as soon as this story broke, Tucker Carlson that same day was like, "Yo, you should come on my show to like defend yourself and talk about this, you know, whatever," right? He gets on the show. Tucker Carlson's like, "What is this? What's going on?" Matt Gaetz, in like a really weird and robotic way, was like, "This is actually happening because there's a certain individual who was trying to extort me and my family for money. And they told me that, you know, if I didn't listen to them, that they would put out these wild allegations of me, you know, and traveling with a 17-year-old. I was not traveling with a 17-year-old woman." And so he tells this like very elaborate story about how his dad had to get a wire, and in an FBI building, his dad had a wire on, and he was in the room with this individual to like get some information on what's going on, and he's basically like, FBI, please release the tape, release the tape so that you can prove to everyone that I'm innocent and I'm not involved in this, and this is just a part of this extortion case, even though by tomorrow that this person was supposed to get the money to prove that this whole extortion case was going on. Mind you, if he didn't do anything wrong, how was he being extorted? One. Two, people have found out that this FBI investigation was happening long before this whole extortion situation happened, the way he said it was, because he said it started on March 16th, but they've been investigating him for like 6 months. And so then he says to Tucker, he's like, you also understand how I feel, like understand you being someone who has also had allegations against him, false allegations of sexual impropriety, against him. You, Tucker, also know how I am feeling. And Tucker is like,
no, speak for yourself. What is he talking about?
He's talking about a mentally ill woman who said that made some sexual allegations against me, and I'd never even met this woman, and so it was proven that these were all false. These were all false claims. I did not know that woman. She was obviously a mentally ill fan, and then Matt was like, he's like, yeah, see, you understand how I feel about this. And then Matt Gaetz, he's just like, well, that was once again, this was Matt Gaetz. Thank you for coming on, And then he was like, well, that was one of the weirdest interviews that I have ever had.
Man tried to throw me on. Man tried to pull me down under the same bus he was getting backed up on. Like, we to get in here together. It's like, what do you mean we?
And now people are digging up the fact that Tucker Carlson has not only had that one claim against him. There are other sexual allegations that have been lodged against Tucker Carlson. Some are more recent than the one that was brought up. Oh, and specifically, Matt Gaetz talked about. He said, "I brought out my female friend to a dinner with you and your wife, and now that female friend is getting questioned or interrogated by the FBI, or she's getting threatened. They're saying that she will get in trouble also if she doesn't talk." And it's very it sounds like he's implying that he brought the 17-year-old girl to dinner with Tucker Carlson and was like, yeah, and now they're threatening her, and now they're saying she should be in trouble. And Tucker Carlson was straight up like, yeah, I don't remember this dinner at all. I don't know what you're talking about. He was
like, but you and your wife are there. You know who I'm talking about. And he's just like,
he's like, sorry, buddy, I don't remember this.
Nah, man, jail for you, but not for me. Man, that's the way he's going about it. But damn, we're coming up on the 1.5 hour mark already, but I think that'll do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing but a short podcast. It's Good Friday. What I'm saying? We're gonna let y'all out a little bit early. You know what I'm saying? Class a little bit dismissed, a little bit ahead of schedule. But man, yeah, Good Friday coming up tomorrow, and Godzilla vs. Kong on Saturday. You coming through for that, or you already seen it?
I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, more than likely I'll come through for that.
All right, that sounds good. I'm definitely down. Who you got?
Godzilla should win. Like on paper, Godzilla should win. Like King Kong is just a giant monkey. Godzilla literally breathes fire. What does King Kong breathe? Definitely not fire.
I'm gonna put it to you this way. I'm gonna say Zilla. I'm with you. Zilla should win, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna fight each other multiple times, and it's gonna be like a 2-2 draw. And then the humans are either gonna do something stupid, or we're gonna awaken something stupid that they got to team up and fight, and that's gonna be the final act. I don't believe that. I don't see them giving them. You don't give Kong 2 movies and then say, all right, time to take this hot L. And Godzilla took his L in his last film, so I don't think he'll get back-to-back L's.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like either of them are supposed to lose. at this point.
It's so weird. Like, I just
So
hope that it's my theory that like Mechagodzilla just shows up and then they tag team Mechagodzilla. You know, like throw out some of the like, you know, team hyper combos on that character, and then they're like, yeah, and now we're friends, and then
yeah,
they just split off.
like here's the funny thing I thought of, like Godzilla and Kong are running it. They're running each other's phase, right? And progressively as the movie goes on, Kong goes in for this giant hook, and then like Godzilla gets hit. And the first time it happens, you like see this electricity. Oh man, he's charged up laser cannon. But it turns out he wasn't charged up laser cannon at all, because like later on in the movie, he'll hit this man with an uppercut, and you'll find out he was fighting Mechagodzilla the entire time. And Godzilla wasn't even part.
It was like either one of them is like, we're stuck with the guy who's gonna kill us. So
Yep, does it really matter? It's like, do you want to get drowned and stabbed, or do you want to get burnt alive in your dreams? Like your choice is yours, and yours alone.
Right.
But with that being said, this has been the Clout.WAV podcast, part of the Clout EXE suite of products. You know where to find it. Coming to a YouTube channel near you. And Sell the Fraudulence, anything you want to say before we hit the end stream button?
The internet was a mistake.
Facts.
Besides that, you know where to find us. You know, follow us on our respective platforms. They'll all be in the description below. Look out for new content from both of us, and always watch out for a new podcast that will come next week.
Yeah, you're X3. We'll see you guys next time. Y'all be safe, and we are out of here. And unfortunately for you guys, I got to do it. I don't make the rules. It's just something that, you know, is a little pastime here. So we're just going to let the music play us out. See you guys. Take care. Shasha.